Hey everyone, it is Zach, and before we get started, I just wanted to let you know that yesterday I made a video about replacing Togekiss come Series 6. Before I made a Whimsicott video, and this time I tackle on how Togekiss is used on certain teams and how you might be able to replace it with other Pokemon. So if you want to check that out, the link will be in the description. Don't forget to like and subscribe, yada yada yada. So let's get on to our episode of Hope for Master Ball. Last episode we finished up with the Raichu Pincurchin team, and today we are going to work with this Sunroom team. Porygon Z does have the Trick Room option in case you want to set it for Torkoal, but it's mainly reliant on either Venusaur coming in and tackling with Chlorophyll or Porygon Z nuking things with Max Strike. So let's jump into it and see how this team goes. I want to say, compared to the Raichu team, this team had more variety with leads. Usually with the Raichu lead, the Raichu matchup, like you always want to lead Raichu to get that immediate damage, but with this one you can take different approaches. So our first opponent's going to be blue, and here we see the big old scary Lapras weakness policy team. So we have Grimmsnarl, we have their own Porygon Z, Duraludon, Grimmsnarl, and Gothitelle. So I feel like we can go Porygon Z and DD, because that Lapras is going to get the weakness policy up no matter what if it's comfy with Triage. And I think in the back we should go Charizard Torkoal, because Venusaur really doesn't fit well here. It does have the max vines, but we're going to max Porygon Z, and then the ice move on Lapras will do a lot of damage. So let's give it a try. Now I do think they are going to go Lapras Comfey. They could also go, actually the Grimmsnarl could pair with Duraludon or Porygon Z, and so could the Gothitelle. So they could go a lot of different leads, so we'll have to see how they run it. Okay, so they decided to go Gothitelle and Duraludon, probably because Duraludon will take the max strikes the best. And I think here we just go for Follow Me and we take. I want to go super effective and lower the special defense, so the max strike against Duraludon next turn will do really well. So we are going to go ahead and Dynamax our Porygon Z. It'll be curious to see whether they max their Duraludon. And I do have candy on this Porygon Z. Okay, good. It's been a while since I used this team, so I forget whether it's fully set up. And the Duraludon is going to max. I'd have to say it definitely is the Duraludon maxing. And yes, it is. So we're going Dynamax versus Dynamax here. Duraludon does have the advantage though, because it takes a normal type moves pretty well. And we see the Gothitelle has the berry. So it takes that dark type move pretty decently, but more importantly, we are going to lower the special defense of both these Pokemon, but give Gothitelle a competitive boost. So we're going to see the max darkness, and this is probably going to knock out our NDD. No, NDD survives. So they're kind of doing the same thing here, but unless they set up Trick Room, our Duraludon is faster. Dark Pulse, so you expect it doubling into the NDD here. Good call. So I think here we can bring Torkoal. Should we max strike or should we max darkness? Let's see how much max strike does. And I think here, should we protect or should we burning jealousy? Let's go ahead and burning jealousy. And that's solid damage for being a resisted hit. And we are going to lower the speeds, but they're probably both still going to outspeed the Torkoal here. And we are giving Gothitelle lots of boost, and that is scary. There's a max lightning. Torkoal takes that pretty well. It will prop our berry, we'll get some recovery, but if Gothitelle doubled into it, I think this Torkoal is going to go down. Expanding Force, so yeah. So we should be able to get the double knockout between Charizard and Porygon Z. Unfortunately though, we did use all of our max turns taking care of this pair, and they got 2 knockouts. So we are definitely at a disadvantage right now, but it's not necessarily means it's over. Both these Pokemon are -1, so we should be able to knock them out. And we see the ally switch. So Duraludon might survive. And we missed the Duraludon. Wonderful. So I would have to say we're probably going to see a max lightning from Duraludon, and with the terrain out, that's definitely going to knock out the Charizard. Yeah. So I do have the option for recovery, but at 3 against 1, this is going to be a tough match, and I'm probably not going to win it. Always the hardest part about switching from one team to another is that you've gotten so comfortable with how the first team plays. It's really tricky to figure out which one will work the best. So here we're definitely going to see probably a floral healing to keep Duraludon healthy, or an ally switch. But I just targeted into the Duraludon because I would have to say we are more likely to see a floral healing. And thinking about it, I probably should have targeted a little more into the Gothitelle rather than the Duraludon. Especially since I was giving Gothitelle boost through competitive. And there's the floral healing. Flinching is possible with Duraludon, but we're just going to see the Draco Meteor. And it's going to knock us out. So good game to my opponent. They played that really well. I think I should have prioritized taking out the Gothitelle before I gave it so many boosts. And I probably should have just kept clicking Max Strike while the Gothitelle was on the field rather than propping the berry. Because I'd have to say with the power of Porygon Z's Max Strike, I probably could have one-shot the Gothitelle if I chose to target into that. So that's probably the move I should have done. But let's jump into the next battle and see how that one goes. Okay, so we have our next opponent. It's going to be Liam. And here we see the Charizard team. We do have access to Earth Power. Are you going to bring the sun, or am I going to bring the sun? That's the tricky part. I'll bring the sand if you bring the sun. No, I think that Charizard, I think that's what they're debating too. They're debating on who's going to bring the sun. And honestly, their matchup would be better if they didn't bring the sun. So they might go for that option as well. Ninetales and Gastrodon, so you do bring the sun. And that Gastrodon's definitely bait. So I'm going to Max Quake into the Ninetales here. And I want to switch in. I want to Air Slash into the Gastrodon because I want to say it either switches out or it just protects. And it's actually going to stay in. I did go for the Ninetales though because the Ninetales is definitely threatening to the Venusaur. And the special defense boost is going to be nice. Okay, Ninetales is gone. With a critical hit too, so I don't know how much that mattered. And we get a special defense boost on our Charizard and our Venusaur. So if this Gastrodon wants to Scald, with the Sun and the special defense boost, Charizard's going to take it really well. We actually see that it holds the Citrus Berry. Muddy Water. Muddy Water still did so much Charizard. Critical hit. How threatening is this Gastrodon though? I'm going to go ahead and max guard with Venusaur because I feel like Charizard's going to go down here. And what I want to do is get some chip on that Charizard. because I want to say Charizard goes down to another Muddy Water, but we can bring an Indeedee and then follow me and take out the Gastrodon and then start chipping down the Charizard. Gastrodon's gonna protect. Okay, good call. And our Charizard's actually faster. So that means Charizard doesn't go down here. That or it's a speed tie. So what I want to do is I want to max Vine Lash the Gastrodon to get that really important passive damage onto the field, especially with this being our last turn of max. And our Venusaur might go down to a Wildfire here, and I just want to hit the Charizard with as much damage as possible. Gastrodon goes down. Goodbye, Venusaur. Does our Charizard go down? No, we still have 6 left, and Vines is going to do damage. And we're actually going to see Leafeon here. Leafeon's another chlorophyll user that people might be using to replace Venusaur in the Series 6. So what I want to do here is I want to follow me and Heat Wave, because getting damage on that Leafeon is way more important than getting damage on that Charizard at this point, especially with Solar Power still up and the Vine damage. Indeed, he takes that Leaf Blade pretty well. And we just get a double knockout with the Solar Power Charizard. Nice! Critical hit on Leafeon, so we're getting some good crits today. And we defeated our opponent. Awesome. I think we just did a really good job of prioritizing what mons we're attacking with. And we went ahead and got this team a Master Ribbon. So that is going to be all for today. Let me know down in the comments below, how do you feel about this Sun team, and which team do you like better, this team or the Raichu team? I think this team has a couple more battles in it, and we're going to get them before Series 6 comes into effect. But anyways, I've been Zach. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.